So there's just a lot of, things that happen on sets. I had another incident. This is a long time ago where I got cast with a regular accent because I don't have an Asian accent. I'm Asian American. And then after I got the job, they decided to make it have a Chinese accent. I don't have a Chinese accent. And I was cast not having a Chinese accent. So then I had to go to the read through trying to do this Chinese accent. And I guess after the read through, they didn't believe it was believable enough.
Oh.
They were trying to recast it, but I was still coming every day for the rehearsals. And so I didn't understand if I was going to be replaced or not. And it caused so much stress. And then finally I did get to do the job. And on the very last day, it was sitcom. So the last day when you actually shoot, you rehearse through the week. Monday, you got your read through, then you rehearse. And then on Friday, you come in for the actual job. Then the executive producer, his anger or stress, whatever, it switched from me to this other guy. And I don't know why. And so this poor other guy got it that day. And we felt bad for him. And he was being threatened of losing his job on the day of. And we felt so bad for him, but it diverted away from me. And then after the actual shooting, it's like 11 o'clock at night, on a Friday when you finally get done. The executive producer came up to me and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. It had nothing to do with you. Everything is fine. I just thought at first the accent wasn't good, but everything was great. Hey, come meet with us. Everything." And I was like, I was so stunned and so shocked. I was like, "You put me under stress for the whole week and it was nothing. It was nothing." I mean, oh my gosh.
That's nuts. What was he saying that the guy was doing? Like, what was his reason for yelling at the guy?
He said, "You were giving away the joke to the guy." He goes, "Don't give away the joke. You're giving it away. If you give it away, we're just going to cut it and you're not going to be a part of this. You're just not going to be a part of it." And so we're just gonna cut that whole scene if you give it away. And this poor guy, I don't even feel like he was giving away the joke. You know how like you just say it and the lines are enough are funny. You don't have to talk.
Yeah.
And I felt like he was really just saying the lines. And so the other guy that I was with, we were like, "Oh my gosh, we feel so bad for him because we don't even know what we're talking about." So that poor guy was under the gun and was under the rest of the day. And he did his thing. It's still in the sitcom. If you see it, he's still there and he was fine, but everybody felt bad for him.
Yeah.
And that day, the anger switched from him and he left me alone. And then that day, at the end of the day, he was inviting me to eat with everybody. And
that's very sus. That's very sus. And I don't know. I guess HR got to him. They're like, "Hey, we can't say that, by the way." It's not. I don't know when this was, but I imagine it wasn't quite, Twitter age yet, or maybe not quite like where we are now.
Yeah.
Right. So that was, but that's what you hear about. And I'm just trying to, I want to talk about that because I don't want to, completely dismiss that. That's the problem. That's what we hear all races of actors other than white talking about, that this is what they've been through, that there's a stereotype they want you to play. And, people are literally saying, "Oh, it's not this enough. It's not that enough." And it's like, what does that even mean?
That's what I mean. What is a more believable Chinese accent from somebody who, one, was born in America, two, I'm of Japanese descent. Just because I look Asian doesn't necessarily mean I'm Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Filipino, or, Thai or whatever. You know what I mean? But they just automatically assume.
It's very racist. It's racist. I'm gonna be honest. It is. It's racist. Like, it's the fact that you're Japanese, and but also, how do they even know? Like, this producer knows what a Chinese accent even really sounds like. Like, what? This white guy? I'm assuming.
It was, and it would be me saying, "Justin, go ahead and do a Chinese accent," and you'd be like, "No. You're not from China." And then I'd be, "Well, like, just because I look like I am from another country doesn't mean that I am. I'm 5 generations into being an American. So why would you automatically assume that I'm going to be able to pull that out of my hat?" There have been a couple of times I always joke that I've had auditions where like, "Oh, bring your own kimono."
Fuck that shit.
I know. And then I can pull any type of Asian accent of any type out of my hat. And I have been working on them. But, the point is that I grew up here. But I don't think that they understand that. And that's still kind of here. And, a lot of times too, when I first started out, a lot of the roles were like, masseuse or manicurist, or, geisha and all this. And I'm hoping that things are opening up now where it's not that way, where it's so stereotyped. The only reason why an Asian person was in a role had something to do with they had to be like from Asia.
Yeah.
Now it's like they can just be your neighbor, your friend.
Yeah. Now, yeah. This was, I guess, because this was pre Crazy Rich Asians, I'm assuming, because that was kind of what made it so that, Asian people weren't playing Asian, you saw American Asian people in the mainstream in a movie. Yeah. Just being, as opposed to a stereotype
of like, somebody who owns a laundromat or something. And it's so crazy because there's just Asian people are everywhere, just running around doing life like everybody else. But for some reason, I feel like we were stereotyped so much into that. It's not like if you see an African-American person, they're going to automatically speak with an African accent, on TV. But for some reason, when I first started out, the only other person that I saw on TV all the time anyways was Connie Chung, you didn't see a lot of Asian people in the first place.
It's true. It's true.
So hopefully things are diversifying and just you're an Asian person because you just happen to be an Asian person, in that role. Yeah.
I'm glad things are happening and that is changing.
I think culturally, though, just in general, hopefully, the world is changing. Because I remember when I was younger being in school, I grew up in the South, too. And I still love where I'm from. But people would say in school, oh, how long have you been in the country? You don't have an accent.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's South for you.
I know. It's so crazy. Like they just didn't understand that it's like, no, I'm.
Yeah. We only know that the Asian people who say on TV. It's like literally like they don't know. Like that's the only way they know Asian people is like the stereotypes that they see.
Right. And that's why that has to change.
Yeah.